onto the Rift. As the Cassiopeia is getting locked in, that anti-dash from the Cassiopeia is going to be very, very oppressive into a Yone, Samira, and a Rel. Because when that Miaza comes down, Rel can't actually W in. Samira can't E in either because she gets grounded immediately. And Yone's dash sort of gets slowed. I think he's unstoppable when he's in ult though. But a lot of team fights, a lot of low range. Besides the Seraphine, there's a lot of low range and it's right in front of each other.
Which gun is has a higher caliber, yeah, I suppose.
Which is stronger. And we're going to be taking a look at this jungle matchup. I want to see how these junglers go about playing this early laning phase. Hopefully, we don't have any random shenanigans in lane. Yeah, so we're gonna see how this goes. That Ashe bringing exhaust, but Samira's bringing cleanse. So in the bot lane, from what I understand, there is almost a rock paper scissors when it comes to Samira, where you either bring heal, and if she brings cleanse, then she loses lane because there's nothing, she can't cleanse your heal. If you bring exhaust or ignite and she brings cleanse, then she wins. So already before we even started the game, Samira's already at a slight advantage because that exhaust comes through, she cleanses it, and she 100 to 0s you basically. If exhaust and ignite come through and she cleanses both, you've spent 2 summoners on someone who's about to kill you basically.
Yeah, the Samira is definitely the champion to watch considering the context of this game. It's going to be really quite difficult to pull this off, honestly, later into the game.
But yeah, we're gonna see how this develops. Red side is getting a leash top side. Amumu is starting top with Garen, so my dad is black is helping out Devilip. Start on this leash, because I imagine that he wants to path bot side, because this Samira Rel lane, if they get ahead, is a problem. But he's probably hedging his bets on a bit of early aggression, which we're going to see from this bot side. The root lands, but top side is actually a lot of danger. Garen leashed for too long. He's getting very, very chunked out. That lethal tempo from Yone, very, very dangerous. And he also has Ignite and Flash. I'm expecting a first blood in top lane, potentially, but Garen also has that passive heal. So we're going to see if he heals through all of this. But it's not looking too good for my dad is black.
Yeah, in time he should be able to regen a lot of that health, but yeah, the fact remains, if you're just a regular bruiser, you don't want to walk up to a Yone level 1 if he's running lethal tempo. You're just not winning that trade. The amount of attack speed, and the fact that his Q just goes on a shorter cooldown as well as he gains more attack speed is just really easy to win those trades.
Oh, the Flash comes through in the bot lane. The Flash, Gragas is actually at level 3. I think Nautilus is dead. There's no hope for this Nautilus. He's just going to burn to death, and Samira's going to get first blood. Worst case scenario. We spoke about this before the players got into the Rift. Samira getting that early king, or getting that early kill, getting this ball rolling.
Yeah, both Flashes burned already as well. Nice root from Rift.
Yeah, Gragas is going to come through and land it, but this Enchantress is going to walk away. She has no flash. She still has the ghost, but that doesn't help if Seraphine flash roots exhausts her. Really, really rough time. Sweaty palms for the side of NACL at the moment. As Gragas is going to regank mid. The flash belly slam comes in. He's going to miss that. This Enchantress is going to have to ghost away. She has no sums mid lane. Then there's no flash.
Oh, I don't know about
lane.
this.
As Devilip comes through. The root comes through, the miasma comes through, the Conqueror is getting proc, the exhaust, but it's not enough. The tears and maybe the mummy gets a kill on the cleanup. He's going to get 1, but no, the electrocute proc is too strong as Luke Karana gets 1, and so does Riftmark.
NACL forced a little bit too hard on that play. This Enchantress already without the sums, with low amounts of mana, they still decide to go for the 2v2, and they just pay the price. They didn't have the resources to win this, and it just ended in a very unfortunate situation for them right now. They're losing in both mid and bottom as we speak, in top as well, I suppose.
Yeah, the major bot lane's not that far behind because Ashe has sort of made up the gold diff in CS. But it's not looking too good for mid and jungle at the moment. Obviously, Amumu is playing. I assume Amumu is going to go some variation of tank Amumu, opting potentially into that demonic embrace. So he's going to be slightly lower econ than a Gragas that goes AP. But he has to get his items, and I don't think that BSE is going to let that happen.
Yeah, the way things are going, Luke Caruana can just path straight to bottom again. Ball lane's
Yeah,
still
no
without
flashes.
summoners. The game plan is pretty clear. He can just leave Yone in top lane. Nothing really bad should happen to him. Garen doesn't have an aggressive summoner. He just has TP. Unless he gets... I mean, with proper wave management, he should be okay here. So it's just like... Brainsword are in a very comfy spot right now. Maybe they even try and look for a dragon really early into the game, but right now, not quite in position yet.
I was looking at the gold difference, and the difference between top lane, even though it's almost 20 CS, the difference is only 300 gold. So my dad's black is actually doing a really good job at not ballooning this deficit even further, and sort of giving his team a fighting chance in top lane.
Yeah, that's true. If there is a top laner that you can just trust it to sit back and weather a storm without much jungle intervention, it's probably Garen. The passive just has a lot of value. The longer the game goes, the stronger it gets. So eventually, the sustained battle, you can just win it without even participating in any fights to begin with. So it's something to consider. And when he has those two items, he will be able to do a lot of damage to either Yone or Samira anyway. The execute on the ultimate. Here's another gank though.
The rail's gonna come through, and we're gonna see what happens. The Ignite's gonna get popped again. Norse's gonna hook the wall and walk out. Dragon's gonna try and throw the cast. He doesn't have ulti, so he doesn't have the ulti cost, but he doesn't need it. Samira is just gonna adrenaline rush through and kill the Nautilus. This isn't looking too good. She hasn't even backed yet. We're looking at an like as mid lane is a lot of stuff is happening. A lot of action happening very, very early in this game. This Cassiopeia into the Seraphine might be the saving grace.
Yeah, really good all-in attempt there from Disenchantress, but now Birthmark is receiving some jungle attention. They'll just... yep, Luke Caruana will just help him crash this wave. He can go back and spend his gold. That has to feel bad for NACL right now. Brainsword are just executing their plan. Everything is going pretty much as they imagined it before the game. Samira getting those kills is not a good sign. If she can get shield bow, she can get this spike before the enemy team, that will just make team fights skew so much more in favor of BSU in this game. Even though they have voice to counter.
A good thing to notice is we're going to have to look at what this Ashe ends up building. Because I think if Ashe ends up going for that sustain, I think this game is sort of slowly downhill because she needs damage. She's behind and someone needs to kill the Samira. Cassiopeia has so many other things on her plate, like a Yone and a Gragas potentially. So we need to see what this Ashe is going to end up building, because Samira is going to be a problem throughout the duration of this game. She's already a problem now.
Yeah, if he opts for a low damage build, Judgy Rocks, he will just basically... That basically means he resigns to his fate, and he's not going to do much apart from just using his arrow off cooldown. Looks like he will probably go Crack in this game, which that's probably what I would go for here as well. You kind of need to support your Cassiopeia with a little bit more damage, considering the team composition. Some more trading from top lane here.
A lot of trading happening, but if this is what we've seen this entire laning phase, it's just the Yone poking the Garen for free, and the Garen just walking out for those last hits, as Luke Caruana is actually going to wrap around on this Cassiopeia. I think she might have seen him. I don't think she has vision in the river, but Disenchantress knows there's something up, and he's just going to back away from that and catch the wave under the turret. Yeah, this trading pattern is a lot. Even though
Oh.
Garen is down CS, the Moon is actually going to ult mid. Sorry, well, we have all of his fights happening mid lane, and the Tears and the Cassiopeia actually kill the Seraphine, who has no mobility, no flash, and no exhaust.
Oh, that bandage toss.
He's going to go for the re. He's going to go for the re-attempt. The Moon's going to take an extra turret shot.
Oh no!
The flash comes through, the Tears, and the Moon. The Venomous Fangs is just going to come through. And meanwhile, on bot lane, Samira's on death's door right now. And Samira gets killed. It's just a run in a 1v2, and Ashley's going to walk away from her. I think she might actually run her down. Meanwhile, in top lane, Cassiopeia's run down the young. Cassiopeia gets 2 kills. Meanwhile, in the bot lane, Ash is about to get a second one, but she's in minions. There's a control ward. I think she's dead to minions, but maybe she can squeeze one out, and she actually gets one. Judgy Rocks has somehow managed to turn the game around, and Disenchantress and Momo Deviluk make it work in the mid.
That's what I was talking about before the game. The volatility can come back to bite Brainsword, and they give up 4 kills just in the span of this one scenario on the map. Basically all around, they lose the bot lane fight, being so, I mean, not that far ahead, I suppose, but still ahead of their opponents. The mid lane gank just does not work out because Luke Caruana misjudges his damage, and the 2 extra kills go to Cassiopeia, which is really bad for Brainsword. That's the one carry that you don't want to give the gold to.
Yeah, it's gotten very, very sketchy because their win con was that fight in bot lane. Them winning that fight in bot lane consistently. And the fact that they lost it and Ashe got 1 kill, obviously a shutdown went to Nautilus, which is unfortunate. But Ashe getting that kill, she's opted to the pickaxe, which potentially means she's going to go Kraken Slayer. As the trading happens again in the top lane. This gold lead has shrunk significantly. Before that entire exchange, NACL was down 3,000 gold. As Nautilus is going to land the dredge line. The ult's going to come through. The Metal Storm's going to land as well. Samira's exhausted, but she doesn't matter. She's going to press ult, and she's going to clean up 2 more for her troubles and sort of rectify the sins from earlier.
Yeah. Going for any kind of fight, looking for any kind of 2v2 when you're playing against these 2 champions does not feel like the plan I would go for. Like, you need your jungle to assist.
But so is Momo Deviluk. The Crystal Sap Moment.
They might get Yone.
They might get a kill here. Yone's going to use the Fate Sealed. I think it's going to kill the Mumu. It's going to kill the Garen as well, top side. Volatility is the name of the game, and it's showing today. As a Mumu tries to get that, and Mumu tries to answer the counter gank the top side. And it doesn't work out all that well, as Cassiopeia is just going to catch this wave top side. One might hope that, might wonder, if Cassiopeia was just slightly earlier, would that have been a different outcome? Maybe they just jumped the gun, or they were sort of panicked by seeing that Gragas top lane.
Yeah, I guess my answer to that would be they just did not expect him to show up at that exact time, so the rotation was not there from the mid laner, and just as we talked about Brainsword liking to play fast and loose, like they lose their lead only to gain it back right afterwards. Yeah, they just like to skill check. That's pretty much the name of the game for Brainsword Unsheathed in Season 8.
But skill checking doesn't matter this game, and Garen can just press R. So we're going to see how this game's going to develop. Early game, a very Brainsword favorite though.
And they will continue to zone out the NACL bot lane here. It's looking really grim. Without jungler intervention, it feels like they can't even approach the wave without getting absolutely demolished by the combo.
It feels like every single time Nautilus
here we
is
go.
throwing those hooks, it's a 4-man dive potentially. You just need to get this wave under before they start this. Nautilus has ulti, Ashe has ulti. Amumu doesn't, but Cassiopeia does. They're just gonna back off, realizing that Seraphine's bot lane as well. Trying to make things happen. Unfortunate that jungle in mid lane rotated as well.
Yeah, the wave wasn't quite there. A little bit of a missed window of opportunity. The dragon's still not started off yet. So I guess we'll see who has the upper hand when it comes to control of the river.
Amumu is on the Raptors. He's gonna have to try and kite his way out of this. He's gonna die for this. He's gonna actually smite it. The encore is gonna come through. It's gonna land on the Amumu alone. the soul of your jungler. Meanwhile, the frozen arrow is going to come through. Samira's going to clean up in the mid lane, but the ult is going to come through. Ult is going to kill the rel. Samira's all alone between a snake, a man with a sword, and a lady with a bow. And it's 2 for 1. It's a 3 for 1, almost. 3 people die, sorry. It's 2 for 1. Jungler for double bot lane. As Judgy Rocks and West have a chance to stabilize their lane a bit. Disenchanters coming in clutch in a lot of these skirmishes, keeping this game within their grasp. It's not that doom as long as Disenchanters is there, but
way.
The Gragas Smite's gonna come through. Shouldn't have started without the jungler being there. It's really, really unfortunate. Horrendous timing there.
Luke Caruana's Gragas, just when you think Brainsword, we're gonna lose the dragon, they actually get the dragon. All that fighting for NACL, the right moment was picked, and yet they come out with almost nothing from that play. Yone got so much top lane as well. You have to remember, so many waves of minions. The tower goes down too. He's so big right now.
Yeah, and I think it's getting to the point where when Yone gets his mythic, it's almost a guaranteed kill onto this Garen. No pun intended. As this Norse is just going to sit there and try and take some XP, but the turret's going down anyway. Both bot and top tier ones are gone, and it's become a lot less safe to farm in your own jungle. We're going to see how Molis is going to come through bot side. He's going to do the Curse of Sad Mummy time. The Cleanse is going to come through. The Metal Storm is going to come through soon as well. Samira's going to try and style on all of them. The Shield Bow is blocked. She's going to press R. She's going to kill 1. No. She's probably good for 2. She might be good for 3 as Rel takes 1, but Samira didn't need the help anyway. Looks like bot lane's exploding as the Encore is going to come through in mid. Cassiopeia is going to make it out, even though she doesn't have food. She's going to walk her way out of that one. She's going to get chased by the Gragas.
The plan was good again. The decision was good.
It's getting really, really doomed for this bot lane. I don't think the game is over. I think there's still a chance to come back here. If NACL or UNL has taught me anything, is one good team fight can swing momentum drastically in favor of one side. However, one good team fight doesn't make up for the almost 4k gold lead that Samira has.
Yeah, they just tried to stop the bleeding, but then I feel like they didn't save the important CC for when the Samira actually presses R. She got to press R despite all the CC they had between Amumu, Nautilus, Ashe. Like, she still presses that button, which means she gets to lifesteal all of that damage, then the Triumph procs, so you don't get that kill. There's no damage to kill the Samira at the end of the day. She just gets the triple. It's so sad for NACL. They had the right idea, they just didn't execute on it quite well enough for it to matter.
Yeah, we spoke about it earlier today, or earlier this game, about the importance of cleanse on Samira. And your choice of summoners in this matchup. There's so many small cogs that are moving, and the stars just aligned, and Hawksbull is having a really excellent game, showcasing what the Samira Rel bot lane can do. As Moon is just going to try and do something mid. The exhaust comes down on the Cassiopeia. The Encore's going to land, but I don't think there's anything here. Actually, Luke is here, and so is Nymphobrainiac. I think Cassiopeia is in for a really bad time, but she just goes down and walk away from this. As they commit a lot of ultis to try and kill the snake and the mummy, but they don't get any of it. They do get the top tier 1, as Yone is just asserting his dominance.
Yeah, that's 2 towers down already for the Yone, and it's only going to get worse, I feel like. Because he has Blade of the Ruined King completed. The shield bow's going to come out afterwards. So once that happens, who's really killing the Yone aside from just the whole team jumping on him? I say that.
Yep, Fate Seal's going to come through over this red buff, but Garen's here. The Cassiopeia stun's going to land. Yone is on death's door. The Ashe Arrow is going to come through, wistful thinking, but it's actually going to catch the Gragas. But no one's around to follow up on that engage. As the Cass is going to come through, I think they're just going to take this Rift over the fleet. It can be a
And
lot of
ACL
blocks. So
decides to
Mumu's
go
gonna,
for it.
yeah, Mumu's gonna land a 2-man stun, actually stopping that run engage. Zero's gonna back off again. Chance for this Rift Herald. The Rift Herald's dying basically now if they don't start fighting it. It's gonna die at 1950 if no one is hitting it.
Feels like NACL were a bit like in two minds about the situation. Should we fight for the Herald? Should we not? Feels like it's not the time to do much of anything as the game stands. You just need to buy time, and right now it's not really happening.
Cassiopeia is trying to do something top lane, but this Yone is just too strong at the moment. The Ignite's going to come through, the Flash is going to come through. Christian Simeone actually being very, very pivotal in these skill matchups.
Yep, as we said, if you're not gonna ban Yasuo or Yone, it's going to get picked, and it did. If you're not gonna ban Samira, it's going to get picked. I feel like BSU kind of got what they wanted from this draft without much of a hassle, honestly.
Yeah, a lot of we got that skill check champ on Christian Simeone. And we got that weak side mid as you were talking about. The Encle's going to come through and land on two. I think Seraphine's in a world of hurt right now. Yeah, there's nothing she's going to do. Garen's going to try and contest for the jungle, but the Chemtech Blast Plant hopefully ejects him back to mid lane. As Luke Corona is going to try and do something, Samira's doing a lot of damage. That Infinity Edge coming in massive as the Fate Seal lands onto 2. The Cask lands onto 3. The stun happens. The cleanse. Cassiopeia's running away from all these 3 people, but Samira's just too strong. Samira has too much damage. That Infinity Edge sort of sealing their fates as well. That Yone Fate sealed, putting the final nail in the coffin there. So they're going to start this Baron and probably take it uncontested.
That was an absolutely ridiculous combo from all of the members on BSU. Actually, they didn't even need Seraphine there in the first place, and you feel like that's how they usually should start fights with the Encore. Oh, that was
he tried to charge the steal. He has to do something.
Right, the hero play. Yeah, that's fair. I feel like you have to try that, and if you're in a situation like this with Baron, they can do so much more now. So at least try and steal that, prevent the inevitable. But as it stands, it's just like they have so much gold all over. It feels like there's nothing that can be done about the situation when Samira is already having 60% crit right now. Yone's almost on Infinity Edge too. The carries are just too fed. You can't really out damage them, and you can't kill them either because of shield bow on both of the carries. So it's really tough to play the game. The game's moving just too fast for NACL to handle. And that's more action from Christian Simeone. He's going to just take those kills and say thank you very much. The double kill puts him at 7-1. This Enchantress now has to flash because he was definitely in the wrong place at the wrong time. 22-8 on the scoreboard. This is just continues to get worse. Explosive Cast comes out, the engage onto the Cassiopeia, and Hawksbill is just going to go in. He's tired of waiting around. He's just going to go for more kills. Nympho Brainiac with the nice engage on the Rel once again, and another tower goes down.
This game is wrapping up very, very quickly. As Luke Corona is going to flash under the tower for the AD carry. Valiant effort, it looks like, if this turret goes through. The Mummy can't do anything, and the Mummy gets murdered for his sins as well. It's been a bot game. It's been a bot focused game, and Hawksbill and Nympho Brainiac have stepped up. Samira 11-2-6 and Rel 4-2-10. Almost half the KP of their entire team combined, just focused on this bot lane alone. As long as he's going to chance something, he's going to land the Dredge line, but too much damage from all the carries on their team. They aren't going to feel confident, and Smear's going to go ult. She's going to go crazy, and yeah, this game is going to wrap up as the final turret falls. The mummy tries to do something, but there is too much damage, and there's not enough hope or faith in the NACL side unless the Nexus explodes and BSC squeaks out the win.